E aí, agora sim, vamos falar sobre soluções de interoperabilidade, melhores práticas em todo o mundo, com o nosso convidado especial, Satinder Butter. Palmas para ele, agora sim. Everything all right?
Yes.
Então, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me just start with a rewind, right? What just happened earlier. It was a classic failure of not having interoperability. I created a document, sent it yesterday as a trial. I created an updated document in the morning, send it again. But because there was no end-to-end interoperability and manual people were involved, we failed. So that is why we need interoperability, which is end-to-end connecting the systems. So with that, I thank you again. And let me start with reintroducing myself. I am Satinder. I am visiting from Philips, Bangalore. I head the IB implementation team. And I feel privileged to be here among all of you, because what I see here is we do talk a lot of interoperability, which is great. And also your presence in this Connect Today event, right? It ensures that you all are committed towards the betterment of the healthcare facilities, especially in Brazil, and along with Philips, you all want to kind of achieve the next big leap that is required in the digital transformation, as we are hearing from the morning. And also with all these end-to-end connectivities that are established, the operational efficiencies and the clinical efficiencies that we can bring into the system will be really recommendable. So with that, let me go to the next slide, please. Yes. I see it here, but I don't see it on the screen. Okay. So the problems will not leave me today. So you have seen this slide, right? So just wanted to emphasize again, as from Roy, right? We need to make interoperability as a standard and have that mindset of having open systems so that each system's data can be used by another system which may use it for clinical efficiencies and better outcomes, right? So with that, what are the key branches of interoperability? Interoperability is a seamless integration between 4 main pillars. One is all the devices that you have in a department. All these devices can be integrated to the departmental systems, like in a critical care unit, in an emergency unit, in a neonatal unit, or in an oncology system. Then you will have multiple departments that work together, from a department within hospital to another department, from an oncology department to a billing department, from a billing department to a discharge department. So the interoperability exists in a departmental situations also. Going beyond that, where do we see interoperability? We see it in a region. So a hospital may have different locations, different facilities, or a unit A and a unit B. So interoperability is required in between these hospitals as well, and also within a region. Then we go beyond that and we see interoperability into the likes of health information exchange, where multiple hospitals or multiple national networks are sharing patient data for better outcomes. Now, what is this interoperability based on? This interoperability is based on the key standards of standards like DICOM, FHIR, HL7, and IHE, etc. And with the Philips interoperability solution, right, what we can achieve is we can achieve the HIMSS levels of certification, right, which IB also brings into the table. Then what Philips interoperability also provides is multi-vendor positive. We can connect to different vendors, Philips and non-Philips, and also we can integrate with we can provide the governance on the cyber security, because IBE has a technology which is the Rhapsody healthcare engine in its background, which is a class 2 device from the last 6-7 years. So that can enhance the cyber security as well when it is connecting to the hospital systems. And then we have the role-based access that can also allow specific people to access specific information, because being an interoperability broker or being an enterprise broker for a hospital, every data is supposed to flow through IBE. But having role-based access control can ensure that the data is secure and no person who is not responsible to have access to the data is having access to the data. And we can also, now there is a lot of talk about giving the data or giving the information to the patient itself. And the patient can decide what kind of information I need the hospitals to share among each other. Do I need my critical information like my physical conditions or like my clinical conditions to be shared to a government agency or to be shared to a public agency? Maybe not, right? So consent management is the next key thing which is kind of governing the rules of interoperability. So Philips interoperability solution, which is the IBE solution, has a dedicated consent management system which goes back and checks either the TASI database or any other consent database where the patient has given the consent to what level of information they want to share. Then reliability and scalability is the next things. So this is the building blocks of Philips interoperability solution. So Philips interoperability is IntelliBridge Enterprise. We already have the word Intelli in it, and it's almost over a decade-old solution. So you can see how we have matured from a single pipe for Philips to having systems which are connected to clinical applications, analytical applications, and also cloud applications. Moving on. Yeah. So Philips interoperability, right? So Philips interoperability addresses the quadruple aim also, where we have improved patient outcomes, right, and improved patient experiences, where the patient has to kind of stay less in the on-site hospitals when it is like acquiring the images or getting transferred from one system to the another system or transferred from one department to another department. The patient doesn't have to manage the data. Earlier the patient used to carry files, papers, and etc. So now with interoperability, all these things can be reduced, which is a better experience for the patients. Then we have improved staff experience. The staff will have access to the prior history of the patient on the fingertips, right? They don't have to look through files, or they don't have to kind of go back and ask again and again the details with the patient on their medical history. They have it available by the access of the button. Better health outcomes. So with interoperability, we always try to achieve first time right diagnosis, right? So that the revisit to the hospitals are reduced, the readmissions of patients are reduced, which effectively reduces the cost of healthcare. And also the cost of healthcare comes down with these things that we just mentioned. Now, in the next set of presentation, right, I will talk about some customer cases which are very specific, which are less heard, but very specific to the market that we are kind of working with. So let me start with the first customer case, which is where we provided a seamless telecardiology healthcare information exchange to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Back in 2019, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Ministry of Health started with a vision to have all the patients in the 8 regions of Saudi Arabia interconnected to a national cardiology system. So with this, what we have provided is 8 hospitals has dedicated interoperability solution which talks to a central server. And when a person goes to a region 1 and has to be referred to a experienced physician in a region 2, the data seamlessly goes to the second hospital. Now, the key challenge key challenge here is that when a patient is available at the second hospital for diagnosis, the information, if it is fetched at the real time, it takes a lag. It needs some time to be loaded. So what we provide with this solution is we go back into the system and check the schedules of the day for that particular hospital or the particular physician, and we pre-fetch the data and provide the data before the patient is even at the hospital, so that we reduce the time to load the data and we reduce the wait time for the physicians, because that is more precious. Then the second use case is from share to care. Even I guess Everton did mention this from when we got our experience shared by the CIO of this region. So this is in the Liverpool region of United Kingdom, where we have around 2 million documents shared every month, and also around for about 2.5 million patients. There are 12 national health NHS trusts, which has multiple small clinics and hospitals. These 12 national NHS trusts talk to each other, so that when a patient goes into different trusts, or when a patient is traveling, the data of the patient is available across the Liverpool region, and they don't have to kind of wait for the data to be available. The next one is a proof of concept that we have done for the Veterans Affairs Hospital in the northeastern region of United States. So it is a very extreme climatic condition region which receives a lot of heavy snowfall, right? So as part of that, the travel for a physician or a travel for a patient is not that easy. So what was happening in this region was that they had around 7 different cardiovascular information systems which had patient data in segregated or different silos. And just before the pandemic, there was a need to understand, can these 7 disparate systems talk to each other and patient data can be shared. So Philips, they approached Philips, and Philips took this as a challenge and did a proof of concept for the VA hospitals, where we integrated these 7 systems together. Now what can happen is, because of the lack of physicians, Veteran Affairs is a hospital chain which supports all the retired military professionals. So the age of patients is a little on the higher side, 60 plus. So what is happening here is the physicians don't need to travel from one location to another location. If a patient is visiting hospital 1, the same patient, the images can be taken at that hospital. The images can be referred to a doctor which is sitting at another hospital. The doctor there can check the DICOM files, add the annotations, do the reporting, and send that reporting back to the hospital 1 where the patient is waiting. And this happens in a seamless way without wasting any time or travel time, and the patient can get out of the hospital the same day, or if he or she is visiting on the ambulatory visit, they can go out on the same, in a quick time. So the next one is Alcon. This is again a cataract institution in US. So what Alcon has done is, Alcon has different experience centers or cataract surgery centers across US and across different other continents as well, in Australia, in Middle East. So what we have done for Alcon is, we have put IBE on cloud, and even the Alcon application, the cataract application, and their EMR is on cloud. So what we provide to Alcon is, we have done the software part of the solution and married it with the hardware part of the cataract operating system. So when a surgery is planned in the EMR for the Alcon anywhere in the hospital, the information goes to the cloud and is shared to the Alcon systems or the cataract eye surgery applications, and the surgery can be performed anywhere in the world. And even the reports that come from, or the DICOM images that come from the different parts of the regions, like in Australia, if there is a cataract surgery planned and the patient has been treated, the information is available to a doctor sitting in US, and the doctor can suggest what are the next steps required. So that we are enabling through cloud, and it is a functional application for almost 6 years now. The next one is the lab device integration, which we did again for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So as part of the National Health Initiative, what the government of Saudi wanted was to have, they have 8 different regions. So out of that 8 different regions, the 5 regions should come together. They should integrate all their lab devices, and the data from all these lab devices should go back to their LIS, which is the best care LIS provided by a Korean company. So what we did was, we created an interoperability solution which connects more than 330 different lab devices from 330 vendors, and these devices are communicating day in, day out with the best care LIS application. And as part of this, with the success of this particular project was done during the COVID time. So with the success of this project, the initiative has been taken ahead as well, and more systems have onboarded, and more lab devices have onboarded. So currently with this, IB has more than 600 plus dedicated connectors which can connect to different lab devices and as a plug and play. So the next one is the data service layer, which we have done in Thailand for a Siraj hospital. It is a pioneer hospital in Thailand, which is the leading healthcare provider for that particular region. So as part of this data service layer, the hospital has had legacy EMRs from SAP vendors, and due to the exiting of SAP from the healthcare world, their systems became unserviced. So that is when they approached, they floated a RFP, and they wanted a solution which can help them connect to all these legacy systems. So Philips IBE is deployed here. What we did was they had more than 500 point-to-point database connections where data was updated in one particular application. Based on certain triggers, the data was moved to another application. So what we did as a project was we removed all these 500 plus point-to-point connections and provided them with 70 FHIR APIs, FHR APIs, where the customer is directly talking to the APIs through an API gateway and is able to get the data. And even they are using the data, they are able to post the data to their central systems using Philips IBE. And this project was completed during the pandemic. So it helped the customers as well as the region during the pandemic. The next one is what we are doing as a first of kind pilot project for Colombia, where IBE is working very closely with the TASI application implementation, which is going on in Fundación. So as part of this, the Fundación had a legacy interoperability broker, which we are replacing, and we are putting IBE. IBE is enabling the integrations of lab information system, radiology information system, blood bank, and also central monitors, analytical systems, and financial systems to the TASI EMR, which is getting implemented in the hospital. So in December, we have a potential go live or launch of the ambulatory building, from where this particular TASI instance will go live. As part of this project, one thing that I want to also call out is Fundación had a legacy broker, Sonda, which had around 4 million patient records. So one of the critical aspects that was required to complete this project was to migrate these legacy patient records into a newer format, and so that it can be made available on TASI. So what we have done is we have integrated a dedicated viewer into the TASI timeline, and we have migrated all these 4 plus million records of patients using the latest FHIR MHD IHE profile. So as part of CDA documents, these old patient records will be available in TASI on the patient timeline, which will enable the physicians having seamless data across the patient longitude. And the last one that I want to talk about is the TASI EMR integration, which we are enabling at Rededor in Brazil. So as part of the Rededor's strategy to kind of onboard the cloud and be at the helm of the innovation, IBE is enabling the cloud strategy, where we have deployed high availability, scalable and reliable solution for Rededor, where we are integrating directly with the TASI EMR and helping different systems kind of talk to each other. So the 3 priority systems that Rededor has planned for a go live next month are the PAC systems, the financial systems, and the lab systems. So we are currently developing these interfaces alongside the customer and the TASI R&D team, and we are testing them out with the customer, and we are hopeful that in the coming months we will go live with this. One critical thing to mention about the Rededor is that we are doing all these integrations on AWS cloud. That's where Rededor is kind of partnering with AWS, and all these systems will be on cloud and going live in the next few weeks or months. So that's what I had, and I would also like to kind of summarize the key aspect here, right? So Philips IBE, the journey, as I was mentioning, was envisioned about a decade back, when it was identified that Philips has multiple small integration engines which enables different Philips products. So what was envisioned around that time was to have a single pipe strategy where Philips systems, all the products that belong to the Philips ecosystem, can communicate seamlessly with amongst each other using a single IBE. So as part of that, we had onboarded the connected care devices, which is the patient monitoring devices. Then we onboarded the cardiology department, all the cardiovascular informatics systems, the ISCV, and the cath lab systems, cath lab management systems, the Expert-IM. Then we moved on to the next set of radiology, pathology. So all these systems, and the latest one that we are working with is the oncology department. So the Philips Oncology, all these interfaces are readily available as a plug and play on IBE. And recently we have started FOKs, first of kind integrations with TASI EMR. We are working along with TAI, as well as we are working independently of TAI as well. So with all these, what I request is, if you have more opportunities to talk about interoperability, I will be available here, and we can definitely talk more on interoperability. So with this, thank you, and I was able to get it done without any more issues. Thank you.